Hello, my name is Lehel. I'm an IT lecturer at Birmingham Metropolitan College.
My name's Des. I'm also a lecturer at Birmingham Metropolitan College. I've been a lecturer now for 11 years. Before then, I was actually out in industry protecting systems. But the world moves on incredibly quickly, which is why we've recently engaged with Lehel.
Which is why I'm here. I recently got a degree in cybersecurity and ethical hacking, and I thought the best way to kind of help people to keep up with this fast pace is to jump into education and just to make sure the future generation is ready for the even bigger explosions in the cyber world, I'd say.
Yeah.
So today we're going to answer some cybersecurity questions. Would you like to start this?
I'll start. If AI fully took over cybersecurity, what do you think you'd do for work instead?
I think I would still be working. Essentially, AI is not a shortcut to things. It is not a shortcut to do your job. It is a learning aid, it's a helping aid, it's nothing but an aid. Essentially, people still have to look at what AI does. You can ask it to do something, but it's not able to apply it onto your context and onto your scenario. So essentially, we would work for the AI, whereas now AI is working for us. What do you think?
Yes, but I mean, the thing is, as with any computer system, the system's only as good as the information you put into it. You know,
prompt.
At the moment, AI is still developing. It's something that is our friend and our enemy at the same time. And this is where we need to be sort of mindful of where we're using AI.
Yes, should we move on?
Yes.
Thank you, Des. Is there any piece of technology that you refuse to use because it feels too insecure? I personally wouldn't use public network, public Wi-Fi, because this morning I took the train to come to work and I see people trying to catch up with the work on a laptop on the train and they just connect to the public Wi-Fi. That is very insecure. People, do not use your corporate laptop on public networks. I mean, how much time do we have left? I can explain how bad that is. If it's a public network, it is not protected. If I'm a malicious person, which I'm certainly not, I could just launch my virtual box, plus all the IP addresses on the network, and just DDoS, distributed denial of service. I could just stop the laptop from working in no time. But that's given best case scenario for me. I avoid public networks.
Yeah, I do as well.
Okay, should we move on then?
Let's move on.
What's the most over-the-top or extreme security measure you've ever seen or heard of?
There is no over the top. There really, really isn't. You've got the money and the resources to do it, and you feel that your data needs to be protected to that extent, then it needs to be done.
If you can call any measure over the top, you're not anxious enough, I think, because you don't realize what's the worth of that data. So if you're aware of this and you have all the anxiety you need to have over this, you're going to do everything in your power to kind of reassure yourself and your system that it is secure.
Yeah, no, I'd say it's more the opposite end. What would be the most underprotected network?
That could be a good question. Which movie or TV show best portrays cybersecurity and which one gets it completely wrong?
I think pretty much all of them get it completely wrong. The reason being is that any film that's now been made was being designed and the timeline thought about 18 months ago. And this industry moves far too quick for that. So yes, they're all woefully out of date by the time they actually come along, you know. But yeah, I kind of like the Terminator, the fact that Skynet's going to take over. And it'll be interesting to see where that one actually goes.
I need to watch that film. I have to watch that film. But thinking of movies, I always love when they say, typing random, I'm through the firewall. You know, I'm in the Wi-Fi network, IPv6. That's just gibberish. Those are just random terminology, just randomly used.
Right. If you had a magic wand and could instantly solve one cybersecurity problem forever, which one would it be? I have one. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we have is 0-day attacks.
That's a very good one. And I think I would do the same. Maybe apply that to everything, because essentially just remove 0-day attacks and 0-day exploits. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question now, because I just asked myself one.
Oh!
Right then. How should a company prepare for a potential data breach in the terms of prevention and recovery?
think there's a word in our mind right now, it starts with B.
Mm-hmm.
That's just screaming,
Yeah.
and it's called a backup. Yes?
Yes.
So,
The further to that then is disaster recovery plans
yes.
and business continuity plans, but obviously those start to come at a cost. Business continuity plans, typically you depend on the size of the business, you could be looking at 6 figures. But the thing is, at least then, if something happens, effectively, the rest of the world don't even know. And this is about preparation. So it's about recognising what is your important systems, what is your most critical systems, what is the things that you need to make sure is always going to be available. That's how we avoid a disaster. A disaster, by definition, is literally about when we can't continue to do our business. Say, for example, if we are the college, we can say that we can't do registers. Well, can the college still operate without the registers? Yeah, it can. It can. Is it still able to deliver lessons if we lose teams? No, that's a disaster. If we lose that and we have no other alternative system, then that's going to be our problem. So I think, for me, it's recognising which of our systems is actually going to be more important.
Yes, 100%. And in addition to that, as you said, since there's a data breach, it is a disaster. And at this point, you need to do 2 things. First, to stop this data leak and rectify it, put your security system back up, and at the same time, get back into business.
Yes.
As soon as possible, and the safest manner possible, of course. Yeah. My turn, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, ooh, you're gonna like this.
Go on then.
What's the best way to create and manage strong passwords?
Right, so what it needs to be a variety of different things. So first of all, you don't pick one word, you pick multiple words. So it could be maybe the first line of a book. Yes. For example, in a hole lived a hobbit. Okay, nice and simple. It's the first line of The Hobbit. Yeah, pick something that you recognise, and then what you can do is you can then start substituting some of those elements within it. Example, you could substitute the letters of your name. Okay, so we've got D, E, and Z is the letters of my name. So all the D's would be exchanged for a 1, all the E's would be exchanged for a 2, and Z's would be exchanged for a 3. And then what you can do is you can then start using some punctuation between the words, maybe a dot between the first and second word, a comma. What you do is you start to create yourself your own little way of doing passwords. And all your passwords then follow the same idea. But the important thing is to never use the same password in more than one place. What about you?
If you want to manage a password, the best way to do is rely on a system that exists only in your head. Because from your head, no one can take it unless you spill your beans, but otherwise it's safe and sound in your brain.
Yeah. If you could turn one character from a movie, TV show or video game into your personal password manager, who would it be?
Sheldon Cooper. Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang Theory. He likes rules, he respects those rules, and he wouldn't hesitate to lecture me about passwords and password security. What about you?
Optimus Prime. Who's going to fall out with it? So yeah, Optimus Prime. I'll go with OP.
Okay, that's a good answer. Just another film I need to watch. How can small businesses prioritize cybersecurity on a limited budget?
Unlimited budget is basically trying to fix the problems that is already inherent there. A prime one that a lot of companies make a mistake with is wireless access points.
Yes.
We all use wireless access points, and in reality, people basically have multiple wireless access points to access one network. And then they put that wireless access point all the way around the building to make sure that there's no dark spots, no areas where you can't get access. Unfortunately, a lot of them actually then put them at the edge of the buildings as well, which means that I can then access their wireless network from sitting in the car park. So in which case, you've completely undone all of your internal security, your external security, having security guards, having alarms, that kind of stuff. If I can access your network from sitting in the car park, what's the point in having all that security? So it's fixing problems like that is absolutely key. It's a lot of them a series of quick fixes that doesn't really take a lot of money. It just takes knowledge and time. What about you?
Simplest thing that most companies fail to do is train their staff, because who are the people who use this company system every single day? companies do not spend enough time on training their staff on cybersecurity and how to stay safe on the internet, how to use their system correctly. I think this, in a limited budget, now there are so many online training websites available, and not to mention us what we're going to do in the future, which is going to be free. It is very, very beneficial.
I totally agree with that, because you're only as strong as your weakest point of contact.
So the next one, if you could train a group of mythical creatures to guard data centers, which creatures would you choose and why?
Actually, I might go back to Transformers.
OP.
No, Transformers in general.
Oh.
Yeah, all of them. Can you describe a real-world case where cybersecurity measures prevented a major incident?
We are a college, we store quite a lot of sensitive data. We get data attacks every single day. Us having a protection system, a firewall. There's not one example. This is ongoing. This never stops. Especially if you're a small business as well. Because first of all, you don't have the budget. They maybe overlook cybersecurity. So there's no one scenario, one example. It's ongoing.
The only ones that you do hear about is the ones where it failed. And this is the constant battle that cybersecurity specialists all around the world are having on a daily basis. We're getting towards the bottom now, aren't we?
No. What specific security challenges do remote workers face?
Many, especially if we're not using a private network, which are incredibly expensive, which is where we come up with VPNs. Again, if they've not been set up properly or not being managed effectively, even a VPN can still be susceptible to attack.
Let's be honest, when most people get an ISP, they just plug everything in and they take the password ticket. Oh, that's my password, my internet works. They don't really spend time configuring it. They don't really think of the SSID, hiding it, setting up guest networks so you don't let everyone have full access to your network.
If animals could somehow hack, which animal would make the best hacker and why?
Wow. So you need an animal with good memory, good cognitive thinking, a usable palms and fingers. Probably a monkey. Yeah, because if you think of a monkey, they have not 10 but 20 fingers. That means that they could type faster, maybe.
Okay.
What about you?
The most intelligent animal, to the best of my knowledge, is a dolphin, and I don't think it'll make much of a hacker though, because as soon as you get computers wet, they're not much use.
Thank you for joining us today, everyone. We are part of the Innovation Navigator from BMet. Thank you for listening to our fundamentals of cybersecurity and all the unserious and serious answers we've given you guys today. Future updates, please check the link in the bio.